Bridge, combat, contact is committing. Collision course, 45 knots. No response to hails, decreasing range. A smuggler's go fast. Engine screaming, bow aimed like a missile, charges straight at a U.S. Navy destroyer. At this speed, impact happens in 90 seconds. One mistake ends with body bags or an international crisis. The Seahawk's door gun swings to low ready. The RHIB team checks weapons. The Tau's voice flattens. If he maintains CBDR at 1,000 yards, treat as hostile intent to ram. Nobody says it out loud. If fiberglass hits steel at 40 knots, people die. So how did we get here? And what happens next? 12 minutes earlier, Sea State 3. Caribbean sun knifes across whitecaps. An Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, 9,000 tons of American steel, cuts through the water at 18 knots. Patrol line, east of Venezuela's Paria Peninsula. Mission, interdict narcotics, stop the flow. Then radar picks up movement. Bridge, combat, small contact bearing 070, speed 45 knots and increasing. A rooster tail, then another. A go fast, low, narrow, built for one thing, speed, rips across the swell. Bow high, engine screaming, not running parallel, not turning away, heading straight for the destroyer. The tactical action officer leans over the glowing plot. Mark it, hail them. VHF crackles in English and Spanish. Unknown vessel, this is United States Warship, alter course to starboard and reduce speed. Do not approach. No answer. The go-fast shifts wake, now perfectly nose on to the destroyer's track. The helo detachment spins up. Rotor wash tears at the sea as the MH-60 Seahawk drops to deck level. On the starboard boat deck, a RHIB, rigid hull inflatable boat, hangs ready. Boarding team, strapped, masked, weapons hot. A bosun hits the quick release. Bridge, combat, contact is committing. Collision course. The ship's Sea-Whiz close-in weapon system rotates. A mechanical nod, not to fire, to remind we are not unarmed. Signal flares arc red over blue water. Still no response. The go-fast bounces higher, slams back down, closing. 40, 35, 30 knots, throwing spray like confetti. Two men visible now. Something long lies along the thwarts, wrapped in tarp. What's under that tarp? Cargo or weapon? Rules of engagement climb a ladder. Hail, warn, maneuver. If the contact keeps coming, the next steps get lethal, fast. One last call. Alter course, ahora. Nothing. The go-fast locks on. Steady bearing, decreasing range. Which brings us back to now. 1,200 yards and closing. The ladder is out of rungs. Before we see how this ends, you need to understand why this moment is so dangerous. In 2025, Washington hardened its playbook. Fast, low-profile smuggling craft in the Caribbean became priority targets. The mission? Counter narcotics layered onto gray zone deterrence. Navy destroyers and Coast Guard detachments share the plot with maritime patrol aircraft. A carrier strike group sits within sprint range. Partner nation radars feed the track. The logic is simple but volatile. Go-fasts move bulk cocaine. Cartels pay for speed with recklessness. Some crews run straight at law enforcement vessels to buy time to dump cargo. That behavior, high speed on a collision course, looks exactly like hostile intent under rules of engagement. Geography makes it worse. East of Venezuela's Paria Peninsula, sea lanes tighten. Trinidad and Tobago, busy fishing grounds, oil and gas infrastructure, narrow passages. A go-fast can disappear into clutter in seconds. Add maritime boundaries, overlapping claims. Confusion stacks fast. Is that boat fleeing into territorial waters or just threading a channel? Now layer in politics. Caracas rejects U.S. narratives about narco-terrorist boats, calls recent interdictions illegal. alleges at least one boarding targeted an innocent tuna vessel. U.S. officials point to weapons, jettisoned cargo, aggressive maneuvers. The risk isn't just a courtroom fight, it's escalation at sea. Military aircraft flew near U.S. destroyers. Diplomats traded sharp notes. Regional cooperation took hits. Every new intercept lives in that shadow. So when today's Go Fast points its bow at a U.S. warship and accelerates, no reply, steady bearing. The question shrinks to one. Is this non-compliance or an attack run? A Go Fast is a long, narrow fiberglass hull with 3 or 4 outboards, built to sprint 40 to 55 knots. Minimal radar return, handheld GPS, cargo under tarps. When chased, crews heave bales overboard and run nose-on to buy seconds. The players. A U.S. destroyer carries sensors, helos, and small boats, but it's paired with a Coast Guard Ladette, law enforcement detachment, who bring legal authority and boarding expertise. Overhead, a P-8A, Poseidon, or HC-130, cueing the surface picture. The escalation ladder. Step 1. Detect. Radar, electro-optical video, helicopter, spotting a rooster tail with no AIS, automatic identification system. Step 2. Hail on VHF. 5 short blasts on the horn. Blue law enforcement lights. Step 3. Warn with flares, loud hailer, maneuvering to block. Step 4. Disabling fire on engines. Precision shooter from helicopter or small caliber fire from RHIB. Step 5. Deadly force. Authorized solely to counter imminent threat to life. Inside the ship, the TAO and OOD, officer of the deck, measure one thing. CBDR, constant bearing, decreasing range. If the bearing holds steady while range shrinks, the contact is locking on. At 40+ knots, closure is brutal. A wrong call gives you seconds. Weapons on deck. Destroyers Mark 38 25mm gun, M2.50 cal, and M240 machine guns on RHIBs. Helicopter door gun at low ready. Most nights, only warning or disabling shots are fired, but fiberglass becomes shrapnel fast. So when today's Go Fast holds CBDR and ignores every hail, options are running out. Bridge, conning, recommend come right 3 degrees. The OOD nudges the helm. The destroyer's bow swings, an invitation for the small craft to slide past. The Go Fast mirrors, holds the bearing. Radio crackles. Unknown Panga, you are creating a collision risk. Alter course to starboard and reduce speed immediately. Acepte el rumbo a estribor y reduzca velocidad. 5 short blasts hammer the air. Red parachute flare blooms and hangs. The Seahawk's crew chief leans into the door, harness clipped, scanning through salt haze. Valkyrie 2-1 on station. 2 POB, stand by. Correction, 3 persons on board. 1 tarp-wrapped object amidships. No visible flag, no AIS. The pilot keeps offset. Message, we see you, we can pace you, and we're giving you an out. On the boat deck, the RHIB team runs last checks. Coxswain thumbs the start panel. Diesel coughs, settles. VBSS lead taps his helmet camera, then the M240 gunner's shoulder. Muzzle low, eyes high. We're here to de-escalate. Davitt groans. Boat kisses spray. Combat, bridge. Range 5,000 yards, 4,800. CBDR continues. The TAO's tone tightens. The legal line is simple in a classroom, messy in a moving ocean. If non-compliant but not clearly hostile, stack warnings. If it shows hostile intent, like ramming, you stop the threat. The Go Fast answers with body language. 2 figures hunker, faces wrapped. A 3rd shape pops up at the stern, arms working near the engines. Dumping cargo, fuel line, or hanging on at 40 knots. The unknown is the most dangerous crewman. Blue lights, the OOD orders. Law enforcement strobes snap alive. The RHIB slaps down and peels off, bracketing high. The panga pitches, levels. Bow rises into the next trough, perfectly aligned. Constant bearing. Range ticks down like a clock you can hear. Last warning, the TAO says. The bosun's mate breathes into the handset. Heave to now. Ponga la embarcación al deriva. This is your final warning. Silence. Then the panga surges. Range collapses. 4,000 yards. 3,500. The panga's triangle flickers on the repeater. Numbers don't lie. CBDR. The OOD opens the lane more. Come right, 5 degrees. Maintain 18 knots. RHIB 1 away. Davit coughs the boat into the sea. Coxswain hammers throttle, skipping across chop. RHIB 1 on station, paralleling. Copy, 3 POB, shooter set, holding fire. Machine gun rides low. Precision shooter braces behind the mast, muzzle indexed down. Overhead, Seahawk drifts in, door gun aimed at the ocean. Valkyrie 2-1, offset 200 meters, altitude 80 feet, signaling now. A bright green laser designator walks across the panga's stern. Unmistakable. We're talking to you. The crew doesn't flinch. Instead, sternman yanks a line. Dark bundle tumbles, then another, bobbing before vanishing in the helo's downwash. Jettison observed, the TAO notes. Legally, probable cause for boarding. Tactically, suspects burning evidence and time, still charging the ship. Blue light pattern, loud hailer. Destroyer flashes strobes. Spanish-English warning booms. 5 short blasts punch air. Panga responds with body language only. Bow dances, settles nose on. Spray sheeting off the chines. Bearing holds. TAO's voice flattens. If he maintains CBDR at 1,000 yards, treat as hostile intent to ram. 1,900 yards. RHIB 1, take the bracket. Coxswain puts the inflatable on converging line, threatening the panga's quarter, giving the helmsman a face and a choice. Turn and live, or meet 9,000 tons of steel. Man in the stern stands, pulls the tarp. Heartbeat. No one breathes. Not a rifle. Spare outboard prop lashed to a wooden cradle. He flings it aside, slams back down, hands on tiller bars. Message. Outrun, outjink, or punch through. No talking. Range 1,200. CBDR continuous. The ladder is out of rungs. Authorized. Disabling fire on engines if safe, the TAO says. Weapons. Confirm. RHIB 1. Clear to engage engines on my mark. Seahawk eases closer. Door gun trained off target but ready. 1,000 yards. Ocean narrows to decisions. 900 yards. Engines only, TAO reminds. Locking eyes with VBSS lead on video feed. Nobody wants ricochet. Nobody wants tragedy. They want the panga stopped. Alive. Seahawk eases a beam. Rotor wash stippling surface. Precision marksman rides the door. Rifle slave to the outboard stern bracket. 2-1 ready. Clear backstop. Pilot nudges left. Nothing but open water behind target. Mark. Crack. White geyser spouts from outboard's lower unit. Go fast bucks. Prop seizes. One engine dies. Torque yanking transom sideways. Coxswain fights, overcorrects. Bow veers. Then, unbelievably, swings back to destroyer's track. Still CBDR at 800, TAO says, jaw tight. 2-1, second engine. Copy, reacquiring. Laser glows on aluminum. crack. Second motor coughs, shrieks into silence. Spray turns from rooster tail to ragged fan. Panga wallows, speed bleeding. Ahead flank, come right 10, open the bubble. Steel muscles away. Throwing wake the Panga can't punch through. RHIB dives across suspect's quarter, big and obvious. Human face, way out. Gunner's finger stays high off trigger, muzzle low. Alto, manos arriba. Third man, sternman, freezes. Glances from helicopter to RHIB, to gray wall angling past. Something gives. He raises both hands, palms bright with seawater. 2-1, hold fire. RHIB 1, close and cover. Precision rifle drops to safe. Panga drifts beam to swell, last engine sputtering. One man moves to toss another bundle. VBSS lead barks. Hands snap up. Seahawk's downwash pins tarps and evidence to deck. Boarding team, execute. Hooks bite fiberglass. Boots thud. Zip ties hiss. Less than a minute. Kinetic to clinical. Weapons cleared. Bleeding checked. Radios calm. Go fast done running. 3 suspects secured. Engines dead. Tempo shifts from seconds to procedures. Boarding team photographs. Serial numbers. Fuel drums. GPS waypoints. Wet sheen where bundles went overboard. Medical checks. Scrapes and bruises. Nothing worse. Seahawk climbs to altitude. RHIB noses in as floating evidence locker. Coast Guard leadet takes over legal script. Nationality claims. Statements in Spanish. Rights advisories. Chain of custody forms sealed and signed. But calm on deck doesn't mean calm on shore. Within hours, coastal radio and social feeds light up. One side, clean interdiction that prevented ramming, preserved life. Other side, unlawful intercept in disputed waters, heavy-handed foreign warship. Demands names and proof. Regional partners watch closely. Every intercept tests nerves in fishing grounds and energy corridors around Trinidad and Paria Gulf. Aboard the destroyer, captain drafts parallel messages. Fact-only report up chain. Terse note to maritime authorities. Ship resumes station. Reduced speed. Wake flattens in dusk. OOD logs the simplest line in a complicated day. Contact compliant. Boarding complete. No further escalation. But the question lingers. Does each successful stop lower the temperature or add one more ember to a growing fire? Today's intercept ends with zip ties, not body bags, but the larger game sharpens. Every warship chase in crowded, disputed waters stacks 3 risks. Legally, threshold between non-compliance and hostile intent blurs at 40 knots. One mistaken call reverberates in courtrooms and chancelleries for years. Operationally, frontline combatants doing constabulary work risks mission creep, tying up destroyers, burning flight hours, normalizing lethal tools for policing. Strategically, Caracas frames each boarding as provocation. Washington frames each as deterrence. Feedback loop hardens into doctrine. More escorts, closer patrols, quicker triggers. Off-ramps exist, clearer hotlines, pre-notification of patrol areas, shared ISR with coastal states to reduce surprises. But as long as go-fasts sprint through the same lanes as fishermen and tankers, margin for error stays razor thin. The next CBDR call could decide far more than one boat's fate. Fiberglass dart met steel wall. Day bent, not broke. Did restraint buy safety, or inch the region toward harder edge? That's the line the Navy walks at sea. Hit subscribe and share it with someone who loves naval ops and the silent service. Keep watching. And the stakes are only getting higher.